a lot of people think their 401k is their entire retirement plan. And it's interesting for me to see that, and it's very common. But I was in your experience, what is your thoughts on that?
Well, working with some, moderate to high net worth clients, what I found is that's only a modicum of their entire portfolio. And what the average investor doesn't understand is that the 401k is a highly taxed vehicle. So they're looking at the entire balance of the portfolio without understanding that really they have half of that because it's subject to state and federal taxation, market fluctuation, and market volatility. So I would say most people think that that's going to be the vehicle that sustains them through retirement, when in reality, they have half of what they put into it, and it usually doesn't last their lifetime.
Of course, and you touch on a really good point where a lot of people just don't know what they don't know with their 401k.
Yes.
And we see oftentimes working with, both of us working with retirees, is that a lot of people, they spend the majority of their life accumulating wealth. But when they get to retirement, now they have to figure out income streams, taxes, like you said, and an actual strategy around their 401k. And so
Right.
they're not just in that accumulation phase anymore.
Exactly. It can be very overwhelming when you're working and growing and gathering, and you get to a point where you stop working. Then it's a different season of life that you start to plan for. But by then, it could be a little too late. You have less years to accumulate, and you need that money like right away. So we try to help people by positioning their investment strategy to include other vehicles, not the 401k.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
And Melanie, I have a lot of respect for you and your professional practice. I know you've been with First Foundation Bank now for over 15,
13,
13
13 years.
years, and
Mm-hmm.
as a senior trust officer. Walk the audience through what does a senior trust officer do?
So most people think of a will when someone passes away. Um, Wills are subject to probate and court proceedings. Most people now, since the 90s, know what a trust is. And a trust is just a written document that you basically explain what you want to have happen while you're living, if you become incapacitated, or if you pass away, who your money goes to, when they receive it, what assets go into it, usually like your investments, your home. So you list the assets that your trust holds, you retitle those assets, and basically, if you, Joe, became incapacitated, you name someone else to step in as a trustee to manage your assets for you, make sure you're taken care of, and when you pass away, who those assets go to. So, my role as a trustee, I work with people that are still living, that are their own trustee. We can manage their assets, and we often work with the beneficiaries that receive assets when someone passes away.